Hello friends, YouTubers, and people that like guitar amps that click this video. Okay, so I've been asked by a lot of people to review what amps I have, and I finally decided to do one. Um, Before I do this video and show you my amps though, I wanted to tell you, one, I'm not doing this to show off, I'm doing this because you guys asked. Nobody needs this many amps, and there's definitely a lot more people that have a lot more than me, so chill out. And yes, I did buy them all myself. I hear it all the time. You guys think my parents buy me stuff, and I wish they did. Anyways, to get on with the video. So this is my very first amp that I decided that was worth keeping. I had a bunch of other little crappy combo amps, and this is a Fender Frontman 25R, and if you're talking about the perfect practice amp, this can handle low volumes and sound great, and it can get any tone you want, clean, metal, hardcore, whatever you want, crazy stuff. But it handles pedals pretty well. It's a 10-inch speaker. It's just everything stock. The only thing I changed was the middle knob. I had a 15G before, and I actually had 3 Fender 15Gs because one was my friend's, and then I got this one, and I wired them all. I wired the plug to go, and I actually had my little first amp stack, and it was 4 of the amps, and it was actually really cool. It sounded awesome, and you can edit it and have 2 of them be crunch and 1 of them be metal and then 1 of them be clean. It was cool, but I didn't need that many, so I sold a bunch of them, and then I stuck with this one. And the only thing about this amp is it does not crank all the way up like you would want it to. When it gets past 3, it's muddy and the speaker breaks up, which if you watch my other video, I cut my 15 in half and I made it a head, and it freaking is one of the best things you can ever do to mod an amp. It is awesome. I cut it and put it through a speaker, and it's only 15 watts, and it will hurt your ears through a 412. But yes, Fender Frontmans, those are my favorite. I love Fender amps. I just never got around to buying a tube amp yet. But definitely. So the next amp, Marshall MG100 HDFX. This was actually my first amp head, and this is whenever I realized I am serious and more serious into guitar, and I'm actually taking it as a true, real, important hobby of mine. I played with this head all throughout high school. I played Paradise City, and there's a video of it on my YouTube as well. I played all the solo and everything. I actually played it really well with this. I had 2 412s, and they were the lower end ones, and I blew the fucking house out of that place. It was awesome. I also played the Star Spangled Banner in the courtyard and in front of the entire school, and cranked it not even halfway, and everyone heard it. I've cranked it all the way in my neighborhood and played the Star Spangled Banner, and everyone heard it. Streets and streets down. I think this is a great head. It's never had any problems. It's a solid state. So is that one, by the way. It is just great. It says it's 100 watts. I believe it's 100 watts. It's solid state. And it has, this is what I like, is it has your effects, but it's just in a knob, and you simply turn it and then hit the foot switch for it to turn on. It's very simple, and I don't want all this digitalness on an amp to where it takes away from your playing time, because I think playing is very important, and that's what I want to do. So I step away from all the crazy digital stuff in an amp. And plus, you can't really personalize your tone when your amp has all of that in there anyway. So I like buying foot pedals and mixing them. Even the different orders you put the foot pedals in can make a difference. So, and effects loop and through the beginning. I'm being a nerd. But anyway, so yeah, this was my very first. I got it with a small cabinet. I sold a cabinet. It wasn't to my standards anymore. I had to upgrade, but definitely the head is a great. I would definitely use it for like a backup head in like a small venue or something, or if it's mic'd, sure. I don't want to crank it all the way because it's solid state, but this is kind of like my baby of all amps, and a lot of people are like, why you have a bunch of expensive tube amps? Because this is like my first. It means a lot to me. I've carried it everywhere. Anyways, next amp. This is a Marshall Valvestate VH100R. And this is a solid state with a tube preamp, so it's like more solid state than tube, but it actually has a lot of tube characteristics. Um, and you can crank it and it sounds great. If you wanted like vintage Marshall tone, this is kind of it. It can get modern, but it has a lot more vintage side to it, and it's a lot more natural. Everything's more natural about it. Um, and I actually had a head version of this, and I sold it because I got this with it, and the guy was so awesome, he gave me this for free, basically for the price that I bought the other one for. So I sold the head, got my monies back, and got this for free. And I wanted to keep this head, the combo version, because I can play the speaker through this. So then I basically have a 112 for all my amps. And it's a Marshall Gold speaker that I love, so I definitely approve of that head. And another thing too, all of these amps that you see, I have a review on each and every one of them on how they sound, what they are, what tubes, what maintenance cost or whatever. I have it all on my YouTube, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But anyway, heading on. Epiphone Valve Jr 5-watt tube, all tube. Gain knob, volume, reverb. The only way how you're going to get more simple than this is if you get the common version where it's just the volume. And the only reason why I didn't decide to keep that one, because I had that one also, was because the more you crank it, the more gain you got. And this one I wanted to control the volume and control the gain, so how much the gain gave it a lot more fatness. So I would put a pedal through it and I would take this, but if I still wanted the volume, I could still crank it. So I like these two is the reason why I got it. The reverb totally sucks with this, so I swapped it out with another spring reverb from one of the Marshalls, an extra one that I had, and it's one of the best and purest tube amps you just get. Like, you crank it up all the way and you're getting AC/DC, Foo Fighters, Dead Sarah, Jack White, any of that kind of style without editing your tone. It's just pure. You don't mess with it, and it's just a great, low maintenance tube head for only 5 watts. You don't have but 2-3 tubes in there. I don't even think there's 3. And it was my very first tube head, and I tried recording with it, and it sounded great, but we sucked at recording, so we used the wrong mic. So gave it a good shot though, and I'll still keep it around for a good backup head. And then another one. This is Harky HA 2500 250 watts. This is a bass head. I bought this because, well, we don't have a bassist in our band, and I wanted to have a bass rig, so I have a 4.8 over at the studio, and then I have this one here, so then you can stack it and look cool. And it sounds really good, and I looked up a lot of reviews with a lot of the bass players, and I asked some people around, and they said this is the head to get, and it's cheap. And they were right, and I've played any other head, Fender Rumble and all that, and this, I think it owns it. It's just clear and more and better. But yeah, I like it a lot, and they're not very expensive. Now this is an orange micro Terror, not a tiny Terror, micro, even smaller. Like, come on, look at my hand. I can cover the whole amp, and you can take this off, and then it's just this. It's cool. But this is one of the coolest, cutest amps I've ever owned. Volume, tone, gain. That's it. And it's 20 watts, and it has one 12AX7 tube in it. And it is loud. It is very loud when it's actually through a 412. You would not think that this head has anything, and it does. It packs a punch. So much so that I'm actually going to keep it in this whenever I put my other amps in this. It's going to be a backup head, as well as this one. So it's going to be a backup head, like if my other guitarist, whenever we get one, he'll have a backup head because I'll have 2. But it is so cute. I love it. The fact that you can literally hook it to your belt and just walk with it because of this thing, I love it. You gotta watch the video of it that I have. It's just great. But alright, so now this is a Peavey 6505 Plus with my custom lighting, of course. But why did I choose this over the Mesas that I've owned and all the other Marshalls that I've owned? Um, I've owned many amps, and I kept trying and trying and trying, and I still was like, it doesn't seem worth paying the tubes for the tone. That's not exactly what I wanted. I looked up all my favorite bands with their favorite tone, and this is what they use, and I need to get that if I want to sound the way I do. It just has that vicious bite, but yet it fits right out of the mix. And when I mean fitting out of the mix, I mean a Mesa you can get, and it sounds very good by itself, but when you play with a drummer and stuff, you want it to sweep right through everything and have the guitar still be clear. Something that this Peavey line does is just, it's phenomenal, and I've never had another amp fit out of the mix better. And I haven't even recorded with it yet, but I've seen it and I've heard it, and I've played with other covers and stuff, and it just is awesome. And I will be using that to record. And if you don't think that gets any better, I have the Peavey 6534. The only difference between these heads are the tubes, and I love tubes, like the differences and stuff, and I wanted to see what the difference was, and turns out I'm going to be keeping this one and using them both for the record, because the 34 has more of a Marshall-y, more mids, and then this one has a more raw, deeper mids. So I want to blend them both and see what I get, and see if I can get my own tone, because I haven't seen anyone record with a 34. So I was like, hey, I got a hold of one, and they're pretty hard to come by compared to 6505s, so why not keep it? And then, of course, I did the custom lighting, and I every time I go to plug one in, I can't choose which one to play. So I stick with the smaller amps because I was like, whatever. But yeah, they're very good heads, and I love them very much. And I mean, there's times where like the other Eddie Van Halen one, the new one, the EVH, like 50, was it the 5153 or whatever, the white one that they have. A lot of people say that's better. I'm sticking with the old school ones for now because I just love that tone. And last but not least, there are more amps I will tell you about that are at my studio. But this one's my favorite, and I actually did a little treat. I was really nerding out, and I said, hey, since this is like a head that no one can get their hands on, I was like, why not make mine literally custom, more custom so than it already is? So this is my Hughes Kettner Triamp Mark II, and what I did is I put Legos in it because I'm fucking badass. If you can hate on me all you want, I think it's awesome. But before anything, this amp is Tesla's. It was, the band Tesla. It was one of the other guitarists. I didn't buy it from him. I bought it from the guy that he gave it to in the studio because he owed the guy money, and I snatched it. And I got this full rig. I don't want the cabinets. I'm actually selling them. If anyone wants them, shoot me up. They're not cheap though because they were $1,600 new. So, anyways, I have Electro Harmonics power tubes, Ruby tubes for 12AX7s, and then I got JJ for some other like capacitor thing, which is kind of nuts. 3 channels, 6 independent gains. This head kills. I love it. This is like my tone. If I had to take any amp and say which one's my tone, this is. Why? Because no one else has it. I know Seyasin use it, and they're boss. But anyway, I will show you. This is the cool thing. I didn't just throw Legos in like an idiot. So this is channel 1, right? So this is like an underwater thing, right? So here's your skull, getting a little octopus action over here, and you have, simple, so clean. This is my clean channel, and then when you go to channel 2, the channel has bite, which I put a little gator underwater with the guy on top of it so that the amp has bite, because I'm so cool. And then amp 3 is when you take that bitch by the head and you stab it with your little knives. And I thought that was a really cool theme because it's just kind of funny and silly, but yet still I guess, metal at the same time. And then I even have, this is the master volume and presence, so I put the little master king over here with his little guard, and then I got other guys killing some octopuses over here. And I put fire in there because why the fuck not, and it looked cool. But this is my, these are my amps. And what's really awesome too is with all my custom lighting, I wired it so like they all go to my colors, you know, and then I can change if you ever so want to see. This is really cool. Ready? Yeah, check it, check it. Look at their little feet, they're like blinking red. I'm freaking tripping. It's freaking awesome. But anyways, those are my amps. The other amps that I have Fender Frontman G, and I cut it in half, and I made it a head version, and I actually gave it to my drummer's dad because he plays guitar, and he's been supporting us with our music and letting me keep my stuff over at his house. So I thought, hey, why not reward him with a little cheap head, but it took a lot. And then the only other head I have is I have a this is my buddy's, but we're doing the same thing. This is a Bogner Alchemist head, and we hollowed it out. And if you look on my Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see I made my rig over at my drummer's. I made it the Death Star, and it's freaking awesome. I love it. And I like, as you can tell, I like playing guitar, and I like customizing. So whenever I'm not playing guitar, I like doing stuff with guitar and music. So yes, these are all my amps. Someday, when I get around to it and I can get all my pedals again, I will do a review on all the pedals and why I use them and which ones I prefer. I got some new ones, like a Weekly Demon Wall and a carbon copy delay. Anyways, I hope you found this interesting. I know you guys wanted this, so hopefully this was long enough. If not, you're crazy. Anyway, you can follow my Instagram below. You can check out my band below. And yeah, just add all my links. And I'll definitely be uploading new videos. And don't forget, I do reviews on all of these too, so you gotta find them. Bye!